going to have to keep their eye on number 1, Savion Flegg. 6'7" grad transfer from Texas A&M. Here come the Bearcats. Jaden Ray. Flegg with the three-pointer. Rings in and out.
Well, they better not give him looks like that. Just a simple down screen, zipping right up to the top of the key. The ball was halfway down before it squirted back out. Got to do a better job of forcing him off that three-point line.
37% three-point shooter is Flegg. Blackshear moves right. Now to McLaughlin. He'll hand it over to Woods. Woods drives. Stop. Curl. Back. Looking for room around Flegg. Good luck. Finds Blackshear. Left hand doesn't go. Pushed out. Blackshear on the run. Goes out. It'll be the Bearcats' ball.
Well, nice try by Blackshear Jr. Holland Woods got in a bad way down there with big flag guard. He said, I don't want any part of that. He finds Blackshear cut behind the back. He had to put a little English on that ball. It just spun off the rim.
Swinging it around, May. Baseline drive, lost it, Blackshear. Oh, he stepped out. It'll be the Bearcats' ball.
Yeah, he got beat on the dribble drive, but his quickness, I think he's the fastest player in the Western Athletic Conference. He's able to grab that basketball, but unfortunately his Nikes were on the inline.
Ipe hands it over to Ray. Ray dishes back out to Flegg. Flegg down low. May looking inside. Ray's covered. Now back out. Ray for three. Front rim, rebound, pulled down by McLaughlin.
That's what they got to do. They got to control their defensive glass so they can get out and try to run before these Bearcats have a chance to set their defense.
Woods, McLaughlin swings it around to Blackshear. Now in the corner for Miller Moore. Eyed there by May. Backing in, pushed back out. Blackshear guarded heavily in the face. Ray comes out, moves left. 7 on the shot clock. Little floater off the glass. Oh, doesn't go.
A little too strong that time. A little too high on the glass. Hits the front of the rim and then bounces back out.
Oh, look who just picked it. Blackshear knocked it out of Flegg's hands. Went out of bounds though. Bearcats inbound.
Suns used to have this player named Jared Dudley. Always said he was slow as molasses, but he had athletic hands, as he liked to call it. Well, we're seeing right now really athletic hands out of Blackshear Jr.
Ray from Midwest City, Oklahoma. That's near the Lopes bench. Bounce pass. Over to May. May, bounce pass into Ray. Ray in the corner. All the way over. May stops, pops, beyond the key. Oh, that was high up the glass, and the Bearcats are on the board.
Did he call that? I think you got to call it when you shoot it straight on like that and you bank it in. But I'll tell you what, Sam Houston State's going to take it. I thought it was a 3. They're only giving credit for it, too.
McLaughlin. Blackshear swings it over to Woods. Just by Lampley, long range. Loose ball, McLaughlin steps out.
Oh, he got the rebound, but he knew he was drifting towards that inline. He tried, when his toe touched, he tried to pull it off the line real quick like the officials wouldn't see him. It was the size 16s, buddy. Everybody saw those.
He looked down and like, uh-oh. Just underway in Phoenix. Bearcats up by 2 early on. Ray moves right. Beyond the elbow, baseline dribble drive, and the Bearcats get their second bucket.
Well, they're going inside off that dribble drive. They're trying to attack that basket. They're a very small team, but they're a very athletic and quick team. Their layup line looked better than the NBA dunk contest this year.
That was read there by Javion May. Stoned by... Yep, Ipe. 60% free throw shooter is Ipe.
Made that one look good. Yeah, very easy, rather. Lefty. Got good rotation on his ball. Both of them good.
All right, the Bearcats up 6-0 early on.
Well, this is not the start the Lokes wanted. They wanted to make the Bearcats play from behind, really get the Havocs into this game, see if they couldn't rattle this Sam Houston team, as this is their first trip to GCU Arena.
Sean Miller Moore. Looks right for Blackshear. Blackshear. Guarded there by Ray. Bounce pass, Holland Woods. Dish back out. McLaughlin for 3. Bam! Take a seat.
Well, that was good patient basketball that time. Holland Woods got one at the top of the key he could have fired, but he saw that McLaughlin's defender had sagged back to the painted area, and McLaughlin was in here on Thursday night working on his game.
Ooh, Flegg takes a dive. Lost his footing there. Bearcats retain possession. Ray Hands it off. Stopping, popping. Front rim and out. Loose ball out on the Bearcats. Dante Powers with the miss.
Yeah, Ipe just could not keep up with that one as it went off of his shoulder and went out of bounds. But they're sending bodies to that offensive glass. The GCU Lopes are doing a nice job putting a body on a body and trying to make those guys rebound over the top.
Hooting with the hand signal when Ellis went back in. It was like, shooter, shooter, shooter. Indeed he is.
Yeah, Walter Ellis been fantastic this year.
Woods driving it. Woodrow go underneath. Wow, doesn't put it back. McLaughlin working hard.
The 200th win, great picture and a moment he will always remember. But of course, guys, I think he wants 3 more victories to finish off this regular season.
Yeah, and then a few more after that, right?
Yeah, he definitely wants this one tonight as he's in a dogfight early on here. His team's struggling a little bit offensively, but the culture, that's the thing that you have seen here. Coach Drew has put his culture on this team.
Picked off with a kiss by Jaden Ray.
Well, not very often do you see a player take the ball away from Blackshear right at the point of attack.
Got him quick. Ellis, Blackshear throws up the 3. Good!
A couple of triples. All of a sudden, the Lopes have gotten hot behind the 3-point line, and what was a 6-0 lead now is just a 2-point disadvantage.
Ray moves right, now left. Bounce pass from Ipe into Flag. Flag turns towards the bucket. McLaughlin in his face. Drives into the paint, dishes out. Finds Lampley. Lampley stops, pops, good.
Oh, nice dribble drive, pull up by Lampley. Got Holland Woods guessing he was coming back across the middle, and he just took one dribble baseline and knocked it down. Watch Walter Ellis. Walter Ellis got a quick trigger from behind the arc. They get him the ball. He's coming off a really good shooting night at Chicago State on Wednesday.
Woods, far side cuts in from the elbow. Stop, pop. Yeah.
Well, nice job by Holland Woods, the 5th-year senior, using that screen on the left side of the floor, getting that ball down there along the blocks and just knocking that one down. Nice soft touch. Holland Woods going to be one of only 5 players, active players, that have 1,900 points and 600 assists.
Ipe hands it back over to Powers. Powers working on Ellis. Swings it out, Flag. Bounce pass. Ipe moves left, working on Igahan. Back out, Ray. Rim pushed out by Flag. Here comes Blackshear. Blackshear dives underneath the glass with a kiss to tie it at 10.
Well, he really had to get tricky on that one because you're right. The player had the right hand covered. He switched it to his left hand on the right side of the floor and kissed it off the glass. He's got 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting.
Ray moves near side. Cuts back in. Swings it over. Lampley turns, fires. Not there. Igahan pulls it down.
The front rim, Lampley was fading back. Never really got on balance.
Ooh, careful. They're coming out to meet Blackshear quick. Foul.
First team foul on Bearcats. Blackshear now realizes he's going to face heavy pressure on the point of attack. But I love this one right here. Of course, he's quickest to the ball. Little screen there from Holland Woods helped him out. Let him get to the rack. Knotted up at 10. Wouldn't be surprised if Blackshear Jr. Holland Woods have to log somewhere between 37 to 40 minutes tonight. This is all hands on deck. You're going to go out with both your guns blazing. Those are 2 best players that you got on your team.
McMillan and Tayshaun Cherry in the game. Igahan, Ellis, and Blackshear. Back to Ellis. Swings it over to McMillan. Moves right. Looks for 3. Heaves it up. Good!
Wow, that is that now. 3 of 4 from behind the arc from the Lopes. So how does Fish Grease shooting that basketball? A couple triples, 3 of them. All of a sudden, the Lopes grab a 3-point lead.
First lead for the Lopes. Grant. Way off the mark. Oh, poor Havocs are going to let you know.
Yeah, Havocs are really going to get on him for that. I mean, you're in a 7-0 run and you threw up that air ball. But I love that one by Chance McMillan. Kind of just got himself into this basketball game. Been struggling somewhat with his shot. But all of a sudden, you go down to Chicago State, you get a chance to get some minutes. And now all of a sudden, that basket looks a little bit bigger.
Ellis, Cherry, McMillan swings it around. Cherry trying to set the screen up. McMillan peeled to the left. Back out. Blackshear for 3. Ba-bam, baby!
missed the last couple of days, but they are absolutely knocking them down from behind the arc. We were in the ladies' game the other day. They did everything right except they couldn't hit a three. They were like 1 of 17 from behind the arc. Men must have some men in the stands watching that basketball game. They must have got it behind the arc and worked on their threes the last couple of days in practice.
Grant drives, loose ball, picked up. Karowalski, back out flag. Oh, long distance for three. Look out. You don't want to get that guy fired up.
Yeah, that's where Lillard and Curry shoot them from, way out behind the line. That line's just a guide. They don't need to put their toes right up on it. Flag, Coach Drew said he doesn't belong in this conference. He's so darn good.
Flag with his first points of the game.
I kind of disagree. I mean, that's what the WAC is now. The WAC has got some stud players in it.
I think he was obviously.
But my friend I knew was Tennessee and Texas.
Oh, you're all on it.
Wow, it's like a version of Jeopardy.
Who is Sam?
Oh, boy, they read that one. Grant drives, little Euro step off the glass and in.
Oh, these turnovers right now, or these live ball turnovers, are leaving the Bearcats easy opportunities. They've only got 3 turnovers, but they've all been live balls, and they're leading to easy points.
Woods drives, pushes out. Ellis, first three, good. Yeah, he's a shooter.
Everybody's knocking him down from outside. 5 of 6.
You get a three, you get a three. Everybody gets a
It's
three.
like an Oprah Winfrey show out here.
May. Back out. Oh, flag with some time. Round out.
Good job. Challenge that shot. Sorry, Barry, didn't mean to cut you off there, but chase on Cherry. Walter Harris shoot another three. Give it to him again.
Oh, that's a long three. Oh, my goodness. Lopes have an 11-4 rebounding advantage here in this opening half. 10:20 to go. Powers, flag, near side. May, back to flag. Takes it, twist, turn. Guarded heavily by Ellis. Good job on the big man. Powers, back to flag, moves right, around McMillan. Up high, Cherry got a hand on it. Woods, swung over to Ellis. No, come on, off the mark. Cherry, bouncing around, grabbing the ball. Whoa, what do we got?
I think you got 2 players that tied up with the basketball there, and it's one of those things where it's a machismo thing. Neither dude wants to let go of the ball, even though the foul had already been called on Chase on Cherry for going over the back. They tried to alley-oop that one there, the high handoff, and they got that deflection. They went running the other way. So Chase on Cherry down here, he gets tied up down there with Powers, and neither one of them want to let go of it. That's that whole thing, like, well, I'll show you how strong I am. No, I'll show you I'm stronger. And the official step in there. I hope there wasn't any technical fouls or anything like that. That's just some grown men having some fun.
Gotta be careful, though.
You guys will spend all that time in that weight room, pushing that weight room around to not flex those muscles a little bit.
Powers. Looks like they got Ellis. Looks like they're in postseason form already.
It's chippy. This is a big game right here.
Oh, yeah, for both teams.
Yeah, first of all, Lopes wants some payback for getting beat on the road at Sam Houston. And Sam Houston, they came from 18 down to lose on a whistle pretty much at the buzzer with 2 seconds left to go.
Powers.
Defense by McMillan.
Man, he's all over.
Tenacious.
Back over to Ray. Ray got the screen set. Left hand and good. Good work there by Jaden Wright.
Really was good work. He took on Big I.O. right there. Took him right to the took him right to the basket and just tossed it over his all straight hand.
McMillan beyond the arc. Cherry wants 3. Big rebound pulled down by Flag.
Jason Cherry said, "Hey, everybody's shooting threes.
Yeah, wow.
Let me see if I can knock one down. I've already played a really good defense. That guy earned the right to shoot a 3."
Bounce pass. Kowalski back out. Powers. Looking to move on McMillan. Squares up and shoots. Too heavy. Woodrow pulls it down.
Yeah, good job boxing out there by O.
McMillan weaving his way around. Dish out. Ellis. Quick 3 attempt. Off the mark. A little chilly in the shooting so far as of late.
Yeah, it's almost like that timeout by Coach Hooper really derailed the momentum that the Lopes had built up. As they've come out, they haven't hit a shot since that timeout.
Back to the starting 5 for GCU. Peels out, flag. Sean Miller Moore called.
Second personal, 14 foul.
Go back to this one more time here. Sean Miller Moore trying to get out past that big bodied screen there, just right through the Bearcat.
Mayday inbound. Ray takes it back. May. Beyond the arc. Steps in now. Back out. Ray. Ray looks left. Now the flag. Flag out by Miller Moore. Look to drive baseline. That's shut down. Bounce pass. Back out to Ray. Ray with a long 3. That's short. Into the hands of Woodrow Ogo. 10 hands it up to Woods.
And it won't show up in the stat sheet, but great job by Miller Moore making Flag give that basketball up on the offensive end.
Woods. Woodrow Ogo. Careful. Blackshear weaving.
He had the big USA chant going there. They were into this one.
Got some Ukrainian posters down in the north end zone. Ivan Woodrow!
Trying to get the ball in my shot. Well, they end up hitting me in my mouth all the time. So with those old school, metal silver braces, my teeth would be, my gums would be all bleeding all the time after almost every basketball game.
Flag regroups. In and out. Woodrow.
Flag is struggling tonight. Lopes doing a really nice job on him. Just 1 of 5 shooting to start this game.
They come out and meet both Woods and Blackshear up a little higher than I think they're accustomed to. Woods up high for Miller Moore, doesn't go. McLaughlin puts it back. Hoop and a harm!
How did he do that? I mean, Miller Moore thought he had lost the basketball along the baseline, and McLaughlin, almost like he had webs for fingers, snatched that thing and got it with one hand and pushed it back in. I thought it was going to go out of bounds right there, and he just grabbed that thing while it was spinning along that baseline in the air and pushed it back in off the glass. A great concentration and then a nice quick finish before the defense had a chance to react. 5 points now for McLaughlin in this one. Make it 6.
6 different Lopes have scored. They lead it by 10.
Sorry, Barry. After the first 3 minutes, we weren't quite sure what Lopes team we were going to get. They have been absolutely fantastic since that time. Doing a lot of variety of different ways, inside and on the perimeter.
Rapley swings it over to Flag. 2:20 and counting. The scoring ground for the Bearcats. Flag. 6 on the shot clock. Flag. Picked off by Blackshear.
Flag is completely discombobulated.
Back to Woods.
Could it be the havoc effect, Barry?
Could be. Oh, careful. Back out. It's an intimidating place to play. Ivan, little open lane there. No whistle. Put back. Not going to happen for Gabe. Loose ball. Flag grabs it.
2 point-blank shot opportunities for the bigs at the rim. They couldn't get that one to go. That would have pushed the lead to a dozen.
Flag to Ray. Ray. Making a move. To Cook. Cook. From the key. Out. Rebound. McLaughlin.
McLaughlin went from the right side of the rim all the way to the left side of the rim for his 4th board.
Miller Moore. Backing in on Cook. Back out Woods for 3. In and out.
Coach said, let's slow it down here a little bit. Let's walk it up the floor and make sure we get a good shot. They're 1 of 6 are the Lopes from 3. So I think the Lopes want to try to finish this half by taking it inside. You got a 10-point lead. You've already done damage from the outside. Keep building on that lead.
A lot of time for Flag, but it doesn't go. McLaughlin pulls down another rebound.
Got 5 boards for McLaughlin and he's setting some solid picks. Let's see if he doesn't get a pick and roll on this situation on this trip down the floor.
Sean Miller Moore from the key, a little floater. Yeah!
Sean Miller had one of those at Chicago State. It's funny, hadn't shot many of them all year long, but he got one to go in Chicago State. All of a sudden, he goes back inside. He's looking like Steve Nash, the way Steve Nash used to go inside, throw it up over the outstretched hand of the defender, float it in over the top.
First bucket for Miller Moore. A 7-0 run over the last 2:41 for GCU. They're on a 13-2 run over the last 6 minutes. Left it down low to Ipe. Ipe trying to drive that right shoulder.
Well, a wonderful move by the lefty down there. Let's go back to this one by Sean Miller Moore. Nobody helps out. They just kind of let him keep going. He keeps his dribble alive until he gets to about 8 feet in front of the rim and just floats it up softly. But a nice job by Ipe. Oh, they're not giving him shots. Must have said he was on the floor prior to the shot. He had a nice move down there on the block, really threw a solid pump fake. Sold it to Glothen, and Glothen picked up the foul. So the 5th team foul is going to leave the Bearcats with the ball down on the baseline.
Scroggins in the game for the Bearcats. Long distance shot, front rim, loose ball, pushed out.
I think it was Blackshear that came crashing down from the outside to try to grab that ball, and he poked it away. Coach Drew can't believe it. Like, hey, let's get that ball and get it going the other way. We can force them to miss those shots. We got to rebound that basketball. Walter Ellis with some good pressure defense and got the player playing a little faster than he wanted. He whipped it out of bounds.
Hey, back in here, playing, coming off of that injury.
I think it's safe to say that the Havocs have done their job in this first half. Through the first 16 minutes of this basketball game, Bearcats are completely disheveled on the offensive end. If they don't get it on the buckets on using their defense, they have a tough time scoring.
McMillan, Blackshear. Up over the top, heavy traffic there, ill-advised pass down low.
Yeah, the Blackshear points to himself. That's my fault. He had 2 guys, Glothen had 2 guys hanging on him.
Gahan late, but errant 3 attempt.
Yeah, but he got out there, he closed out there nicely on Cook, bothered that shot. Just 1 of 13 shooting from threes.
Miller crossing up Cook.
Take the final 4 minutes of a basketball game at the half and get some momentum going into the locker room.
8 points from McMillan. He's 2 for 2 from the arc. Bench scoring in favor of GCU, 11-2. May swings it around. Ray ends up with it. Dish back out, loose ball. Oh, McMillan can't get it. Dish down low, Scroggins. He can't put it home. Look at the D under there by Blackshear.
He got a block.
How did he do that on the big man?
He got up and got that block. The bench absolutely loved it.
Oh, it doesn't happen for Ellis. Cherry tried to come around. Scroggins able to grab it and pull it down.
Yeah, when Blackshear got that block at the rim, the bench, everybody jumped to their feet.
Ray, stop, little floater, that's short. Scroggins underneath, muscling his way, can't put it home. Another attempt, that doesn't go. Peeled away by Blackshear Jr. Oh, good move by Javon.
Yeah, he's just taking the ball in the front court, and everybody knows he gets it, and he races it up there like a little beat-up bug, and then he just puts both feet, slams on the brakes, and then the defender trying to chase him can't stop on a dime and runs right over the top of him.
May
5 fouls apiece. For the most part, these officials have been letting them play in this half. That was an easy call. Got to call that one. The guy gets knocked to the ground.
Ellis inbound. Finds Chance McMillan. Deshaun Cherry lifts left. Blackshear Jr. Had to get it into. Oh, look at him weaving and dealing. Swing, McMillan. Short. Loose ball. Oh, Gahan can't pick it up. Here come the Bearcats, stopping and popping. With a kiss on the 3 by Lampley.
I don't know if he wanted to kiss it off the glass, but they're going to take it. They've been really struggling behind the arc. They needed some points on that possession. They got them.
Stopped to put an end.
The Wiggs, I seen Gal had a flag wrapped around like a toga.
Toga?
Yeah, toga flag.
McLaughlin, big right hand. Oh, not going to happen. Peeled up. Ooh, Ellis, I think, is going to be called.
Yeah, trying to fight that, getting that ball back. It's not the worst thing that could happen because the team is not in the penalty. But you wouldn't want to do that for the rest of the half. You're giving a team that's already having a tough time to score now opportunity to score from the free throw line. I see it's on the ground and it looks like it's so tempting. But you just got to go ahead and run back down the floor to protect that 11-point lead.
McMillan back in. Ellis will take a seat. So 11-point lead here. Lopes don't want it to dwindle while the Bearcats want to chip away before the half. Push from behind, Blackshear.
Blackshear always likes pushing that ball from behind and then pointing the opposite direction like, yeah, that's our ball.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. I didn't do anything.
Blackshear got a hand on it again. Worked out for the Bearcats. Peeling away, Grant. Dishes in tight, Ipe.
Ipe set a man-sized screen on Holland Woods. The help defender had to come over, and then a beautiful bounce pass delivered the ball, and Ipe with that left hand down the left lane line. Easy layup.
Bearcats chipping away now. 9-point lead, GCU.
Yeah, Lopes not getting that momentum we talked about to the locker room. They need a couple buckets here. These final 2 possessions they're going to have.
Cherry swings out to McMillan, drives baseline, reverse. Oh, did you see that?
That was a thing of beauty. He tight roped the baseline, went under, almost like he put his head back on the other side of the glass and then spun it back with the left hand. Yeah, that's a Sports Center highlight moment right there. 10 points now for McMillan on 3 of 4 shooting. Great job off the punt.
Ray Grant, big step back on the 3. That's going to be short. McLaughlin.
Lopes want to use a lot of clock here. There's about a 10-second differential between shot clock and game clock.
7 rebounds for Gabe. Twisting, turning left hand with a teardrop.
Well, I guess if you get a lefty finger roll right over the front of the rim, you take it whenever you can get it on the shot clock and the game clock. Beautiful job and wonderful drive by McLaughlin. He is in his bag tonight.
Lopes opening it back up. Lead is 13. Bearcats 2 of their last 13 from the field.
Yeah, what a job defensively. Just 9 of 28 overall in the quarter.
Lampley a 3 at the buzzer, in and out. Good thing started. We are underway. Woods leaves for Blackshear. Back to Sean Miller-Moore. Swings it over to Woods. Open look for 3 from the corner. Good.
Well-designed play. You get Holland Woods coming from the left side of the floor all the way out to that far, deep right corner. Not a chance in the world that the defense was going to be able to recover and find him down there, and he knocks down the triple.
Woods with 5 points. Lampley. Back to Flag. Flag, step back. Bounce, coming out, and McLaughlin pulls down another rebound.
Yeah, that's 8 for McLaughlin. Now 8 points, 8 boards.
Blackshear over to Woods again. In the corner. Comes back up. From the elbow. Good. Oh, Holland Woods lighting it up here.
Yeah, because Big O sets a nice screen and rolls hard to the basket. That takes a defender and a half with him. The Atlantic Coast Conference, they are down this year. Well, Carolina did get a big win today at NC State.
Throw that in there. Ray hands it off to May. Went down with a little bit of an injury early on, first half. Been back in action though. Ray trying to weave his way from the elbow. Good.
Oh, nice pick there right at the free throw line, and the lefty moving to his left, knocked it down.
Blackshear. McLaughlin swings it over to Miller-Moore. Looking left. Woods. McLaughlin. Blackshear. Drives baseline. Kick back out. Miller-Moore. Drive. Stop. Pop. Little floater. Good.
Why not? They got that floater working right now.
Wide open lane right there.
Yeah, it just a little show of the ball, like he was going to shoot it from the outside. All these guys have made 3-point shots that they come running at him, and he's able to beat the defense to the front of the rim.
Made for 3. Big rebound. Picked up by Blackshear Jr.
Blackshear Jr. loves coming back and grabbing those balls after they bounced on the floor.
Ooh, careful. Woods in trouble. Man, that was tenacious by Lampley. Give it back to Lampley. Oh, that would have been a nice play for Lampley. Coming up late on the play is Ipe. Takes the return feed. Ipe peels away. May. 8 on the shot clock. Ray. Step back. Not there. Pulled down by Woods. Body on the ground.
There's that Ipe going down there in the middle.
Oh.
No, it wasn't Ipe. It was May down there. Got tangled up with Big O underneath there, and he had the inside position. Even though he was giving up a lot of height. I don't know if that's a flop, but the officials bought whatever he was selling.
Woods tight. Ipe driving on Woodrow. Back to May for 3. Big rebound again, pushed out by Flagg. May swings it over to Flagg.
I think Flagg got away with a push off on Miller Moore. Flagg is completely out of control.
Yep.
He can't get anything going. The Lopes have done a good job, whether it be McLaughlin, Miller Moore, even we've seen Big Ivan on him at times. So doing a good job throwing different smaller guys, larger guys, and he doesn't know whether to drive or shoot.
Bearcats 0 of their last 4 from the field. McLaughlin, Miller Moore, near side, eyed by May. Pushing that left shoulder, alternates, now baseline, little floater, doesn't get enough. Loose ball picked up, Flagg, bounces it up. Back to Flagg. Bounce pass. Inside to Ipe, left hand off the glass. That doesn't go. Woodrow with the rebound.
Nice strong rebound in traffic. Got the basketball with 2 hands. Firmly chinned it so nobody could take it away from him.
3-pointer good by Blackshear Jr.
Well, you know, Blackshear Jr. has really turned it on ever since he got his pocket picked right at the top of the key. It seemed like it woke him up, and he's been better with the basketball, not turning it over, and much better offensively, finding his own buckets.
10-2 run to start the second half for GCU. Stoned by Woodrow, but a foul called.
He lost a shoe on this time. Something about those yellow shoes the GCU Lopes players like going to May and knocking him
straight up
to the ground.
Confused by that call.
Yeah, some lower body contact, I believe. Oh, no, he whiffed. And maybe that's a little anticipation, much like my call. The referees made the same sort of call. That there was some body contact. I didn't lose a shoe. McLaughlin was stepping on it. No one's a fan of those yellow shoes.
You got to double knot those shoes, man. You really do.
And I was never a big fan of the double knot. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
JB May to shoot 2.
Look, he's got some writing on there,
look
too.
What do we got here? What do we got here? Oh, that's okay.
no.
That's fine. I like that.
In the ball game for the Bearcats, number 0, Javon Grant, 54, Kuba Karolowski.
Well, these Bearcats at 16:01 left to play, finding themselves down by 20. Will they have the fight once again to try to go on the road and get another victory? And that was just played on Thursday night that they played. They're going to try to muster up one last surge and see if they can cut into this large deficit.
May hits both. He is a 44% free throw shooter coming in. Blackshear cutting. Ooh, tried to feed Woodrow. Picked up by Woods though. Loose ball back out. Miller Moore. 8 on the shot clock. 7, 6, counting down. Blackshear. Step back. Oh, not there. Loose ball picked up by the Bearcats. They bring it up. Grant. Peels away. Swings it over to May. May to Flagg. One of the Bearcats bench. Inside the arc. Big rebound. Pulled down by Miller Moore.
And Miller Moore fought off that screen by the defender and then still challenged that shot. That was impressive. Showed a lot of strength right there.
Bearcats shooting 27%. They're 0 for their last 6. They haven't had a field goal in over 3.5 minutes. Miller Moore, Blackshirt Jr. Swings it over to McLaughlin for 3. Big rebound. Pulled down by the Bearcats. Javon Grant. Karwowski all the way over to the near side. Step up, Lampley.
They're cold as ice. I don't know exactly how to explain it. I mean, the Lopes have been doing a nice job defensively, but even Coach Drew didn't want to give the defense too much credit.
From the corner, Gabe McLaughlin.
Gabe McLaughlin is in his bag tonight now. Give him double figures in scoring, and he's sitting on 9 boards looking to get another double-double on the season. Done a fantastic job in this one. There, dude's looking for minutes right there.
You're just sad no one chimed in with you, but you're on my Mount Rushmore, Scott.
Oh, I appreciate
You
that,
could tell
Kate.
that was a gender, right? The youngsters, there's some names on there.
Totally right. We forgot all about, but they didn't have Jabbar, they didn't have Bird, and they had all these young players on there.
Flag. Peels away from Miller Moore and puts it in.
Hey, welcome to the party.
Second bucket for.
It's been a long
Savion.
time since Flag has knocked one in from the perimeter, or even gotten in the scoring column, period.
First 2-pointer.
Curious if that would be something to see him go all of a sudden knock, his next 5 or 6 shots down.
Yeah, you brought it up earlier. They came back from 18 at Stephen F. Austin. McMillan. Gahan. Can't put down the rebound.
Great job getting on that offensive glass by Gahan. Sometimes you have to realize when you're a foot behind the basket, go ahead and just pass that one back out.
Oh, tried to
flag once
whistle
again.
it in there to Grant.
Yeah, got a cutting teammate, but he right now is just really outside of what his normal capabilities have been. I listening to Kate's interviews with those Havocs, and they are absolutely right. They have had a effect on this basketball game, the way they have brought the energy and the noise. It is something these Bearcats have never experienced before, and you can tell that they are just not used to playing at their best, and the Havocs are as loud as they've been tonight.
Miller. Gahan hands it over to Blackshirt Jr. Peels back, goes right, baseline drive. Swing. Cherry back to Blackshirt. He's on it beyond the arc. Cherry, 6 on the shot clock. Looks got to come up with something here. McMillan. Oh.
Got bailed out with 2 seconds on the
Did he
shot
ever
clock.
get bailed out?
Bearcats did a great job playing defense for 28 seconds. Coach Hooten can't believe it. That drive by McMillan, he has been playing fantastic basketball tonight. He just gets enough body contact to earn himself a chance to go to the free throw line. And those numbers, 10 points, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from behind the arc. It's the first one to go. So back-to-back games now, Chance McMillan has been in double-figure scoring. What were we talking about? Getting guys playing at their best, right? For these final 3 games at home, going to Las Vegas for the WAC championship tournament. And you got to say, at the Chicago State game, and for the most part, most of the game tonight, they are operating really well.
Gahan and Cherry put an end to that attempt.
High travel. Walter Ellis kind of lost the ball, jumped in the air, and before he could pass it to one of his teammates, he came back down with the ball. But look at Flag, goes to the Holt, thinks, I got one, and then the Irish Holt comes over and says, Holt smash! Sends that one back the other direction.
Ray, Grant. Karwowski feeds it back to Grant. Grant, right hand, doesn't bring it home. Stepped out.
We thought this one was going to be tight, wire to wire, and after the Lopes fell behind 8-3, they have really just smashed the Bearcats all upside the head a variety of different ways, offensively and defensively. They're just not able to get anything to go.
A little bit of press there. Woods over to McMillan. Cherry swings it over. Ellis getting extended minutes. Driving. Right hand to Stone. Out of bounds. It'll be the Lopes ball.
Walter Ellis went down that right lane line thinking, I got myself an easy 2, and they got some great big size help side defense.
7'2" guy.
7'2" guy said, you shall not pass, young man. It took Walter Ellis down to the floor too.
Miller. Oh my, come on, are you kidding me? Oh! Are you kidding me?
Chaz McMillan all of a sudden looked up and said, oh my goodness, there's only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. I gotta fire this thing from 35 feet out. Nothing but net.
Gracious. Career high for Chance McMillan tonight.
Yeah, he's on a roll. He's like, okay, I'm gonna set up the offense. Wait, there's 2 seconds left. Well, I'm number 2. Why don't I just go ahead and fire it up there? He absolutely loves it. Had his season high of points in the last basketball game in Chicago State, and then comes back and knocks that one down, and not only gets a career high with that 3-point shot. Chance McMillan doing his darn thing off that bench. 3 of 4 shooting from behind the arc. See me on that surfboard going down the
of course they do.
Going down the aisle. They're trying to set me up for an ER visit, or they really got my back and they want to see me go down there.
Which one do you think it is?
ER.
Shot clock violation.
If you want to get off that side and don't do that,
David Nicholas Jr.
I'll just keep talking.
I don't know if I can do it in these pantsuits that I got on tonight. It's a little tight. I'm afraid something might rip in the backside going down on that surfboard.
That'd be terrible if we capture that on video. Lopes lead it by 23. Less than 10.5 to go. Collins swinging over to Ray. Ray looking for some room. Grant, long 3 attempt. That's off the mark. Push back out though, and the ball ends back into Grant. The left hand would have been a sweet bucket. Doesn't go.
Yeah, you had the Irish Hulk down there that made him take a difficult shot, and he couldn't finish it off.
Laksher stoned by Karlowski.
Yeah, they're going to realize Karlowski's down there on that paint, and they're going to have to start pulling up, doing that little floater that Millard Moore's been shooting the last couple ball games. Try to get up over that 7'2" center.
Karlowski swings it over. Ray doesn't go. Woods taps it up. Laksher, 3. Bam!
Why not? They're shooting the over 50% from behind in the arc tonight. 55% shooting for 3, 11 of 20. Give Blacksher 14 points now in this basketball game. You know, he didn't score in Chicago State. Didn't have to play very many minutes. Only scored 6 points in the game. Give Tayson Cherry another rebound.
Ray.
As the Bobcats can't get anything to go. Even their layups are coming off the rim.
1 of their last 14. Woods in the corner. Woods looking to move. Drives baseline. Swings it over. Cherry. Drives. Little floater. Doesn't go. Karlowski pulls down the ball.
I think they got Gahan going after that basketball. Yeah, foul on Gahan. So just the 15th foul for the Lopes. So not a bad fall, being a little extra aggressive trying to get that basketball back. But Gahan's going to get arrested. They're going to come back with Gabe McLaughlin. We've already talked about him. Game he's had. He's already a double-figure scorer. I believe he's sitting on 9 boards, so trying to get his double-double for this evening.
7'2", Kuba Karlowski takes a seat. native of Warsaw, Poland. We also know Dima Zador was born in the Ukraine before moving to Lithuania. Hearts, prayers go out to both of their families and all that's going on over there. Pray that they're all safe. Blackshirt. Step back.
Oh, trying to close out on Blackshirt, committed the foul. Yeah, going back to the door. Just as there's some power outages there, so they're trying to conserve energy, obviously, in that war effort. So they only turn the power on from time to time. So the parents have to charge their cell phones while they have power, so they can communicate with family and friends. And a way to let them know that they are indeed safe. Check in safe. It's a horrible thing.
It's terrible. We have to live like that. McMillan and Blackshear, 30 points combined. 7 of 8 from beyond the arc. Ouedraogo steps back in. McLaughlin, Blackshear, Chance McMillan, and Holland Woods on the court for GCU.
Yeah, Holland Woods, he had the 15 points in 21 minutes at Chicago State. His line tonight, 7 points on 3 of 6 shooting. 5 assists, but I tell you what, it's been the McMillan and Blackshear Jr. show tonight. Those guys got to combine 31 points.
Pushed out after the miss by Flagg. Into the hands. Ray dribble, baseline drive, kick out. Nicholas Jr. underneath the flag, left hand with a kiss.
Oh, beautiful pass. He got that ball in the perimeter. He could have kicked up that shot, that three-point shot, but really drew that beautiful play right underneath the flag to get him one right at the bucket.
Blackshear Jr. One hand, not going to happen. Flagg pulls it down. Bearcats bring it up. Down by 16. Flagg. Nicholas Jr. with a bucket.
So back-to-back buckets for the Bearcats. I can't remember how many times they've had that tonight, but it hasn't been very many. And had a little hard-fought game. You thought they were probably just going to cruise into Chicago State and wax them by 20, and that's what happens. You get a little bit confident, a little too cocky, and the basketball gods will smack you down.
March 8th, it all gets started. McMillan drives into the paint. Ooh, careful, Blackshear able to save it. Foul, though. Wow, was that ever fortuitous for GCU with Flagg drawing the foul? Third on Flagg.
Well, Flagg has had a trip out here to the desert that he would like to soon forget. Just 3 of 12 shooting, 1 of 8 from behind the arc for Damian Flagg.
Woods.
Oh, they're going to get the charge on Woods. I thought he had made the perfect pass over to Y.O., and then Y.O. was going to smash it, but as Woods, after he left the ball go, he just slammed right into the Bearcat defender. Officials wanted to call that one tonight. I'll tell you what, you can take out McMillan, who's had one heck of a ball game. He mentioned his 15 points tonight, and then you bring in Walter Ellis, who is one of the best three-point shooters in the country, at shooting over 50%. Just one of 21 players at that 50% mark.
Gabe pull that one down.
Yes, they gave him credit for that rebound. Now 11 points and 10 boards.
From McKee, doesn't go for Woods. Back out, Lampley, 3. Not there, McLaughlin pulls it down again.
Just 2 of 24 from behind the arc are the Bearcats. They just have never been comfortable in this building tonight.
Blackshear, loose ball. Foul. Scroggins.
Yeah, Y.O. got some of the biggest arms in NCAA, at least in basketball, maybe on some of the football programs as well. And if you're a Bearcat defender and he's got you down there right underneath the basket as that ball's in the air, it's like wrestling an alligator. You just got to try to wrap him up so he doesn't hurt you.
Blacksher. Stop, pop from the elbow. Good.
Well, if I'm Coach Drew, between now and their next game on Thursday, they do exactly what they've been doing in practice these last last days on Thursday and Friday when they came back from Chicago. This team is playing some good basketball.
Ellis got a hand on it. Woods drives. Back out, Ellis, swing, back to him. Walter Ellis, front rim, rebound, Woodrow go. Working on Scroggins. Draws the foul.
Hard-working young man down there. You know, hard hat, lunch pail kind of effort, working on that offensive glass. If they're not holding him, he's grabbing the ball, and then he takes his time. Man, we saw him early in the season, you know, back in early November and in December. He tried to squirt something up without taking his time and getting back on balance. Now he realizes, hey, I might shoot under 40% from the free throw line, but I'm still going to make them pay in foul, get them in foul trouble, and give our guys an opportunity to catch a little bit of a breather by going to the free throw line. He knocked that first one down, didn't he?
Yes, he did. It was a laser beam.
For the Lopes, number 35.
How about Savion Flagg? I was just checking the numbers. He's had double-digit scoring every game this season. His previous season low, 12 points versus Utah Valley on February 5th. We still got 5:05 to go, but he currently sits at 7 points in the game.
Just remarkable job defensively. Oh, White got the first one there. Okay. He shot that 15-foot free throw, 12 feet on the second one. Hey, he bested his average though, right?
Yep. Ivan takes a seat. Cherry's out. Aiden Gahan. Blacksher still on the court. Woods and Ellis. Ellis getting big-time extended minutes. Ray. Rebound. Push back out. Lampley swings it over to Flagg. Flagg back to Lampley. Lampley puts it on. Drives in the paint. From the elbow. Bounce pass. May pushes back out to Lampley.
Recovery of these Lopes players. If they get beat, everybody's helping one another.
Lampley from the corner. Rebound again. Ellis finally ends up with it. I think Flagg really hit
on the ground and getting his head knocked, where he's going to be having probably a pretty good hitting the rest of this evening.
Blackman in the game. Cherry over to Ellis. Back to Blackman down in the corner. McMillan. Peeling away up high. Gahan not there. Put back Cherry. Oh, look who is there.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Tayshaun Cherry does such a good job of being in the right place at the right time, always at a nose for that basketball, and those are the easiest 2 points he's had all season long.
His first bucket. Good work down low by May.
You know, we were doing the women's game on Thursday. Tayshaun was nice enough to come on and do an interview with Kate. I just love this guy's energy. Kate asked him a question when the Havoc start doing the Tayshaun Cherry chant. His eyeballs just lit up. The love and affection that he has for the Havocs, but when they do that for him, he just absolutely is so appreciative of the support he has gotten here at GCU Arena.
So it's all love. Blackman, oh, he stepped out. Oh, Jaden Stone checks into the game for GCU. Von Grant, Nicholas Jr. Look back. Foul away from the play. Looks like Stone got an early foul call. Trying to work on Kuba Kowalski.
17 foul. That puts the Lopes over the team foul limit. Kuba Kowalski.
Dima Zador in the game. Great to see Zador and Kowalski on the court together.
That statement he made about Coach Drew being on his Mount Rushmore of players, it helped out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, he still got 3 minutes out of it. Crafty move by Dima.
Into Stone, they're putting the press on. Stone brings it up. Blackman.
You know, Blackman came in Chicago State. He lit him up for a three. And this freshman hasn't gotten the time with Holland Woods and Blackshear in that backcourt that I'm sure that he would like his freshman year, but he sure can play. Fill it up.
Jaden Stone.
We know Jaden Stone can knock him down.
Put it on the floor, moved around, stopped and popped.
Yeah, Stone cold. I mean, and you're coming off of that bench kind of cold, and doesn't take him long to heat up.
Cook off the mark. Zadora went up for it, came down with it.
Yeah, he went up and snatched that ball at the apex and came down with strength as a couple of Bearcats were whacking at his forearms.
Liam Lloyd in the game as well. Foul on May.
That's going to send the young man to the line to get some points.
Second on May.
Yeah, Bearcats are over the limit now here with their 17th foul. Let's see if Zadora's been working on his free throws, getting that 100 up every day in practice.
Yalta, Ukraine for Dima Zadora. Loose ball. Kowalski.
Little strong with that one. And probably the emotions that that young man is playing with right now. Can't even imagine.
Nice drive there by Nicholas Jr. Doesn't go. May, Kowalski diving for it for the Bearcats. Blackman. Kowalski comes up with it, swings over. Cook. Good. Good work there by the Bearcats.
Look at Reese Big down there. The ball was squirting around from player to player underneath there. And finally, the guys in orange got it, and they get it right over to the left side of the floor and an open three-point shot because you had 6 guys out on the ground trying to wipe the grease off their fingers.
Stone, far side. Eyed by Nicholas Jr. Swings it over to Lloyd. Lloyd down to Blackman. In the corner, peels away. Zadora. Top of the circle, bounce pass into Aiden Gahan. Irish ball. Lost the ball. Zadora picked it up. Back out, Stone. Oh, shot clock violation.
Just a little bit late as Jaden Stone's able to knock down the 3 ball. I don't know if Zadora realized that there was less than 2 seconds on the shot clock when he fired that one back outside, but a nice job working underneath, using all of that clock, but they just come up just a second too late.
Rafe Curtis in the game. Step back, Jamon Grant doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by the Lopes. Blackman brings it up.
Big Curtis shot. He played 7 minutes the other night. Chicago State didn't get one up.
First personal on Grant.
First personal, 18 foul.
It's a tight race. The Western Athletic Conference.
Well, Lopes playing some good basketball right now. I mean, okay, Chicago State, you can say what you want about them. They haven't been very good all year long, but still, anytime you go on the road, you shoot 60% in a strange arena. That's a darn good number. And they have followed that up again tonight as they are shooting just a tick under 50% in this one. So, again, another good night shooting the ball for the Lopes. Game that got canceled earlier in the season due to some of the COVID issues. So that's one of the reasons why the Lopes are completely deadlocked with it.
Bearcats with 1 game left while the Lopes have 2. Bounce pass, Grant. And into a sea of white. Nicholas Jr. Right hand. Just doesn't go. Kowalski's there. Loose ball. Peeled away by Nicholas Jr. Back out Grant. Loose ball on the floor. Kowalski trying to pick it up. Blackman, careful. Gets it up to Stone.
That pretty much should do it. Just a 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock. You're going to have to shoot this ball. Give it to Rafe. Let Rafe shoot.
Curtis over in the corner. Waiting for it. Give the man the ball. Jalen.
There's times when a
Got to
guy
get over on the other side of the court there. Now swing it over to get Curtis.
Oh, they took the turnover. All right, so I have seen that a few times this year that they don't want to seem like they're piling on, even though it's a 4-second differential. The team that has the large lead will just take the turnover. But a great effort tonight by GCU Antelopes as they